feel like Frosty the Snowman when I say that. Welcome back, guys. Happy 2021. Can you believe we made it? I'm going to apologize now that it's been a while since I've been at work. So if I can't talk or think of words, that's why. I got to get back into the groove of things. But I'm glad you guys joined us and you're back here with us. Want to make sure everything's okay. We're on a skeleton cruise, so we're all trying to figure things out, get back in the swing of things. Can everybody hear me? So if you can hear me, put in the chat, hi, how you doing? What's up? All that good stuff. Let me know you're out there listening.
We got one from Charles. Charles has also asked, by the way, what is today's topic? I think that's coming in a second.
It is, Charles. Absolutely.
Thanks, Nicole Long says hi.
Excellent.
Phillip Town says hi.
Good. Excellent. So everybody can hear me. We're ready to go then. Well, welcome, guys. Again, we'll just go with quick rules. I don't know if you remember me. I hope you do. My name's Vicki, Community Education Coordinator here at the North Carolina Zoo.
Can't forget you.
Anybody that's new, just in case, let me know.
Thanks, Joey.
Go over the rules really quick, even though I know most of you probably know them inside and out. You already saw when I said chat what you're supposed to do. So anytime you have an answer for me, that goes in the chat. Any questions you have for me, I've got Steve here behind the camera and Leslie back at home helping us answer questions because I need all the help I can get. So that you put in the Q&A. So any questions you have for us that you're just dying to know about our animal families, because that's a topic today. And do remember, you guys are muted, and it's just to help everybody's sake, so it doesn't get a little bit crazy and chaotic, and I get easily distracted, so it helps me greatly. All right, so yes, so we're going to talk about animal families, because you guys had holidays recently, which means we probably spent a lot, well, this whole year, probably been spending a lot of time with our families, right? And so we all have different kinds of families, right? What do you think of when you think of a family? So in the chat box, tell me what your definition of a family is. What do you think makes up a family? What do you guys think? Oh no, Carlos.
It takes time to type.
I know.
Fingers are cold, a little chilly today.
You guys have been out of school.
People I'm related to.
Says Leslie. Okay.
Philip says parents.
All right. Absolutely.
Those are good. Oh, Philip and kids. Good recovery there, Philip.
Kids. No, they're not part of the family. All right. Yep.
That's good.
Right. Oh, there we go. We got more.
And pets. Leslie added pets. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. Leslie has some. Nicole says people that love each other for who they are.
Oh, you know what? You stole mine.
Charles, awesome. Humans with the same last name, not 100% of the time, but people with the same last name are related.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it?
Right. Well, lots of different definitions. And that's okay, because families are different. And all families are different. My definition, my idea of family is people in your life who have your back. And I like you said, and love you who you are, right? Just like you said. So, and they can be people you're related to or not. I have a zoo family here. I have zero blood relation with them, but I consider them family because I know they have my back. So they don't have to be related to you. Families can be big and they can be small, right? My family is huge. My mom was one of 15 kids, so I have a lot of aunts and uncles and a gazillion cousins. So not everybody's family as big as mine, but like I said, they come in all different sizes. And like I said, they're different. And you know what? So are animal families. And we all have different strategies. So we're going to meet some different kinds of animals, families, and maybe you can see who you relate to the most. Right? So let's see. Let's start with our first animal. I hope nobody says this is their strategy. This is the no caregiver. This is where the animals basically lay their eggs and leave, right? Can you guys think of animals that do that? What kinds of animals? People just lay eggs and leave. Zero caregiving into it. Can you think of anything? Turtles.
Turtles. A couple people say turtles. Thanks, Philip and Nicole with turtles.
Right.
Frogs from Nicole. Sea turtles from Leslie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bugs, says Christina. Yeah.
Insects, right. Right. Absolutely, guys. So most your invertebrates are your animals without backbones. your
Fish.
reptiles and some fish and amphibians. They kind of have that way of just laying their eggs and they leave. But that doesn't mean they don't put some thought or effort into the nest that they build for their animals, right? Like this guy. They put a lot of thought into their nest that they leave for their baby. Does anybody know what's another word for dung? Does anybody know? Poop. There you go.
Feces, poop. Yeah.
Absolutely.
A big poop.
Absolutely. So where does a dung beetle lay its egg?
Good job, Joey.
Let me know what they do with their egg. What they do with their eggs? What are they known for? What are dung beetles known for? What do they do with poop?
Charles does say in other animals' feces. That's right, collecting poop from Philip.
And they kind of roll it into a ball, right?
Lay eggs in poop, yeah.
And then they lay the eggs in that ball of poop. So they do put some effort into it, right? So they find a nice, steamy, fresh pile of poop. They take a little bit, turn it into a ball, and they lay their egg right in the middle. That way the egg, when it hatches and becomes a larvae, it's got a food supply.
Vicky nailed it. Roll it into a ball.
Yep, nice job. So they do put a little bit of effort into it. So it's not just lay the eggs and leave. Unlike our first friend. Oh, where did all my gloves go? Didn't even notice that. Sorry, guys. First time back. Forgive us, guys.
Charles says they are part of God's cleanup crew. So the dung beetles are, yes.
Absolutely.
They are definitely good at cleaning up the planet. That's for sure.
Pretty colored gloves. Sorry.
Those are new. Yeah.
Yes. Woo.
For styling.
Excited over silly things.
They do clash a little bit, but I guess that's okay.
All right. All right. So our first friend, they kind of lay their eggs and leave, like a lot of your amphibians and reptiles. Make sure I'm prepared.
Spraying her hands might give you a little bit of a hint of what kind of animal might be in there. She's putting that nice clean water on her hands.
Ready to come out, weren't you?
Whoa.
All right. You guys remember who this is? You might have met him. I don't remember which one.
Him, I think.
Sugar, I think, is a boy, right?
Sugar and Todd.
Yeah.
Frog, right. Yeah, Charles is there. Cane toad. Excellent.
Nice, Charles. All right, so this is Sugar. And as a lot of your toads and frogs and some reptiles, and as all the time, there's always exceptions. He's not an exception. So cane toads will find a nice, moist, wet place, and the females will kind of lay their eggs, and the males will be by, and they'll be fertilizing. And then once that's done, they leave. And those eggs are just on their own. And they leave this big, slimy mass of eggs that eventually grow and turn into what? What do the eggs turn into?
Tadpoles. Good job, Charles.
Nice, right. And then they're on their own. So a lot of those animals that just kind of lay eggs and leave, they tend to lay a lot of eggs. They lay a ton because they're not putting any amount of care into after they hatch, right? So they have to lay a lot. That way, more likely to survive to adulthood, then they can have babies. So most of those eggs that are laid, and they'll lay, I think, up to like 2,000 eggs in a pile. Maybe, what do you say, about 5%?
Oh, yeah, it's 1 to 3. That's what I've always heard, 1 to 3% of the eggs.
Yeah, so very few, maybe 10, 5 to 10 maybe, we'll go with that.
Yep.
Will actually survive to adulthood. So that's why they lay so many eggs, because they're not putting any effort into the caregiving of the animal. So they put the effort into the eggs. And she blinks her eyes, she squeaks.
I heard that.
That was cute. Sorry, that was adorable. So a different strategy. And it's not any better or worse. It's just what works for that animal, whatever works for that species and what works best for them. Because obviously these guys do quite well. Matter of fact, they were introduced to Australia as to kind of eat these beetles that are eating the sugar cane in Australia. And they decided they liked everything else but that beetle. And they thrived. And they had lots of babies. And now they're considered a huge pest in Australia because they're native to Central and South America is where they're native to. But that's how they got the name cane toad or giant marine toad. Do you guys have any questions about Miss Sugar here? Excuse me. I'm not used to talking so much, so I always get those little tickles in my throat after it's been a while. So
it does take practice, doesn't it?
I know. We have to get back into it and get into it. So do we have any questions in our Q&A?
No questions in the Q&A.
No Q&A?
Leslie got one earlier, so that was
All right,
nice of
cool.
her.
All right.
I think you're good.
All right, Sugar. Say goodbye. She's now a sugar pop right now. She's like a lollipop. So that's her way to defend yourself, making yourself look really huge and scary.
Philippa does ask, why does she look a little bit red, especially under her arms there?
Right. So when she gets she's trying to like scare everybody off, she makes herself get huge. And just all those blood vessels are near her skin that you can kind of see, like she's blushing almost. Kind of like when we get kind of mad, our faces get red and all the blood, like right now I'm getting red. And
it's because you're hot.
I'm excited to be here. So I'm flushed. So that's kind of what's happening to her right now.
Yep.
And as soon as they put her back in her home and she realizes that nothing's going to hurt her, she'll go back to her normal size and normal coloration. So this is just her way of going, back off. I'm a big scary toad. All right.
Cool.
All right.
That's it. You're good to go.
Bye, Sugar.
Yep. Everybody say goodbye to her already. Vicky, Nicole, Joey's over there saying bye.
She's pretty cute.
She's a winner.
She is. We'll keep her. Or him.
We'll keep Sugar. We'll just keep Sugar.
We'll keep them. All right. All right. So then there are some animals that lay eggs, but they stick around. But once they hatch, they're not. So they put a little bit more effort into the lay and leave aspect. And this is pretty cool. These are probably one of my most fascinating animals to me. I love these guys. And they kind of take it to the extreme. Does anybody know what animal that is? What animal is that?
Octopus from Philip.
That's right, Philip. Nice job. So
Nicole, good.
These guys, they literally live for their kids. They literally, they don't have a long lifespan. Sometimes like 6 months to maybe 2 years. And so the males and females will mate. They'll grow up. They find a mate. They mate. The male goes out and dies. The female, she sticks around and she hangs out with those eggs and she protects them. She hangs out with them. She cleans them. She makes oxygen is getting around them and she cares for them. She doesn't eat. She doesn't move. She doesn't do anything but care for those eggs. So she puts a lot of effort into it. And once the eggs hatch, and these cutest little things ever, oh my God, adorable. Then unfortunately she dies. So they put so much effort into those eggs, like I said.
Squeak.
Yeah, I know. They are adorable.
You're right, Philip. Philip, I don't want to be an I don't want that.
No. Some of those life cycles are a little rough. So we're pretty fortunate about we have a nice long life cycle. But yeah, so that's all of their energy just goes into raising kids and having eggs and having more babies and protecting those eggs and making sure that they'll live and move on and grow and become new octopus on their own.
What a baby octopus is called.
But it's kind of cool that animals, when they come out of the egg, they know exactly what to do. They know what to eat. They know where to find it. Sometimes it's trial and error. They have to figure it out. But for the most part, they have that instinct and can go where they need to go and survive, which is amazing to me. So another cool one. And then another cool animal.
This is a good one.
All right. Let me show you this one. Which one is it, the male or the female that's the caregiver of this species?
Male.
Right.
Male. It's a horsefish.
Male? Horsefish. I find these things fascinating.
They're very
horsefish.
Cool.
Anytime I go to aquarium and there's seahorses there, I'm just no. I like horsefish too because I always do that too.
Let's rename them.
I just sit there and watch them forever because they're just so bizarre looking and they're just so cool. But yeah, so it's the male, and so the female, he's got a little broad patch. Another picture right here. right there. She lays the eggs inside there. He fertilizes it, and then they just kind of live in this fruit patch until they hatch. And then they literally, whoops, wrong way. I think I love this is adorable. I love that. And then literally like thousands will come out of his belly. Those come shooting out of his belly, and then they're on their own. And he goes, finds the girlfriend, and then they do it all over again. And it's really cool because the female will come. I think every day, I read this somewhere. They come every day and they do a little dance and greet each other, and then she leaves. And he's still left holding the babies. So pretty cool. So different one. So they put some effort into it. But once they hatch, they're on their own. Let's see. Who do I have next? I always forget. Oh, our next friend.
Friend.
You got a friend? Oh, hi. Just saw her little nose. Sorry, I'm off camera, guys. I'm just getting our friend. I apologize.
Give you a little running thing. The animal came over in a cooler to kind of maintain the temperature, to keep them warmer because it's still chilly outside. And now Miss Nikki is opening up a pillowcase.
Did you figure it out yet?
Hello. Good job, Philip. Good job, Charles. Nicole. You're right.
Nice job. Pogo came to say hi. They're not camera shy at all.
Nope.
So Pogo here is our ball python. And most snakes, they do lay the eggs and leave. They don't really care for their young or their eggs at all. Very few animals will care for, or very few snakes will care for the young, but there are exceptions. Like these guys will actually care for the eggs. So Pogo, if Pogo was a female, would lay the eggs and then lay on top of them to incubate them and keep them warm. And they would do that by kind of clenching their strong muscles, and that kind of gives off a little bit of heat. And so that's how they would incubate their eggs and help keep them warm. And they stay there and protect them. And as you can imagine, this guy's sitting on the eggs. Would you be able to see the eggs? That's cute. As you can see, they all kiss. So, do you think you'd be able to see those eggs when mom curled up on top of them?
Philip and Nicole say no.
Right. She's got such good.
Good job, Joey.
Excuse me. They have such good camouflage that they do not, and it's going to help hide the eggs and protect them too. So. They're one of the few snake species that will actually help kind of protect the eggs. Most of them will just kind of lay the eggs and leave. And they'll lay lots of them. Do you know how many they lay? I forgot to check that out.
I believe it's 20 to 30, yeah.
That's what I say, about 20 eggs they'll lay. And that way, most of those eggs, because she's hanging around, making sure they're safe, they're going to survive kind of to the adulthood. And be able to have more baby pythons, which is pretty cool. But she is, as you can, or he. Yeah. I got stuck on because the female snakes are the ones that take care of them. So look at those, how thick those muscles are. So they're really good at keeping them warm. He is all muscles and bones, which is pretty cool, and camouflage. So really good way of protecting and raising their young.
Vicky,
you guys have any questions?
Yeah, Vicky asked how old Pogo might be.
Oh, goodness. I forgot to look that up. Do you remember?
28.
28 or 23. Leslie, do you remember?
Or was Tommy? Tommy was 28. 20,
I know,
yeah,
I
23,
got them
24.
reversed. We lost our other ball python.
Early 20s, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, I want to say they were 23 to 25.
And we won't know for sure either way. They were both donations, so we don't know exactly how old they were, Vicky. But you can probably be safe to say mid to late, or early to mid 20s.
Yeah. Yep. I was in his 20s. Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we were guessing too.
Thanks,
so.
Leslie.
Yeah. So, and they can live maybe in their 30s or so.
Yep.
So probably a little bit longer in human care because free health care, free food, free healthy food, all that good stuff. I can't tell if you guys can see her on the screen very well. Him, it's a him. One of these days I'll remember. Oh my goodness.
It's hard sometimes.
Any other questions?
Nothing else has popped up.
All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and put Pogo back.
And Leslie, we'll tell Pogo that you miss her.
Aww.
We'll make sure Pogo knows you miss him,
Yeah.
Leslie.
Oops, sorry, folks.
So back in the pillowcase, and that's just to keep Pogo a little bit more secure, so Pogo feels a little bit more safe. And it's a little darker, right? They like kind of being in that forested ground area. So having that little pillowcase as well as the cooler helps with temperature and
No escaping.
no escaping, and darkness. Yeah.
Not having very much success with the pillowcase right now. That's better.
I don't know. You left the building, Miss Nikki.
What's that?
You left the building. Yeah, this is gone.
Oh.
So I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. Internet?
Says you're connected.
Yeah. Don't know what happened. Maybe we're not connected like we thought. Let's try 2G. There we go. Whew, sorry about that, guys. Is this up?
This is up. Looks like it's up. I have no open
Okay.
questions, but I don't see chat.
Right. Get rid of that.
Leslie says she can see and
guys
hear
hear
us.
us?
Thank you
Okay.
very much, Leslie. I think we lost connection, so we had to go back out and come back in.
Yeah, sorry about that,
Oh, it
guys.
says we're muted. We will, oh, no, it doesn't say. So then unmute us.
Yep, okay.
And you can hear us?
Can you guys hear us now?
Leslie says yes.
Can you hear? All right. Whew. I don't know what happened. I
Leslie
think-
said, just keep going.
All
We
right,
got this,
are you guys-
Leslie.
all right.
Joey says he can hear us.
Excellent. Good. Cool. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. We just lost.
Vicky can hear us. Thank you
Wi-Fi.
guys so much for the feedback. That's
Yes.
great.
Appreciate that. All right, guys. So we met animals that really don't put a huge amount of effort into the caregiving of their young. A little bit here and there, but not as much as, let's say, us as humans. And there's different kinds. So sometimes we have, some families have one caregiver, right? And can anybody, and that happens in a lot of times in the mammal world. Most of them it's the females that are raising the young. And sometimes in this instance, again, there's an exception. So some reptiles do actually put a lot of effort because what critter is this guy?
Or gal.
Oh, yeah, this is right. You're right, this gal. What kind of animal is this? Is it a crocodile? You're close.
Close.
Very
Close, Philip.
Let's see. This one has.
Joey
a
says gator.
huge
Gator
shape.
from Charles.
There
Gator,
you go,
gator,
right,
gator,
right.
alligator. There you go.
So alligators actually are pretty good moms to a point. So she will actually fill the nest. She will gather all kinds of weeds and grasses and dirt, and she makes this huge mound. That pile right there will come up. She'll make this big mound, then she'll dig out the center, lay her eggs in the center, and then cover it back up, and then she'll sit on it. And she'll protect it. And she'll hang out, making sure nothing gets to those eggs. She's not incubating because it's the grasses actually. As they break down, they give off heat, and that's what keeps the eggs incubated. And what's really kind of cool, the temperature that's in the middle of there tells you if it's going to be a boy or a girl. And I always get this wrong. I think it's hot dudes, cool chicks.
Cool chicks, hot dudes.
Yeah, you got it. So the cooler temperatures, you're going to get girls. Higher temperatures, you're going to get guys. In the middle, you'll get a little mix of both. So, yeah, so that's kind of cool. So she has nothing to do with the temperature. It's just that nest breaking down. And then once they start hatching, oops, these are eggs. They'll lay about 20 to 30 of those eggs in the middle. And then once they hatch out, they make this cute little noise. You can do it better than I can, Steve. Put you on the spot.
Oh, oh, oh.
And mom hears that and she digs them out. And then she gently carries them to the water, either on her head or in her mouth. And could you imagine this big, huge thing? Your mom's mouth is like this. and you're riding in the middle of it. So very, very gently hang on to them. And she can even actually help some out of the eggs, just kind of rolling around in their mouth in there until the egg kind of breaks up and the baby comes out. And so she carries them in her mouth, on her head. She takes them into the water where it's safe. And then they hang out for the next year, and they hang out with her, and they learn to feed, and they learn what to eat, and she protects them so they can get nice and big. Because unfortunately, other gators will eat the babies, and lots of animals will eat them when they're nice and small. So she gives them about a year to grow, and then not such a great mother anymore. So she goes to her young, and she says, "Get a job, leave the house, get an apartment, get out." And if they don't, does anybody know what happens? What does she do that maybe convinces them it's time to move on?
Does
Right?
she eat them from Philip? Nicole says she eats them.
Oh,
Charles, she
eats
eats
one.
them.
She grabs one, she eats it.
Nice job, guys.
Right? And the other ones are like,
Good job,
"Oh."
Christina. Chomp chomp, says
Yeah,
Leslie.
if your mom started eating you might want to leave the house, right? So they do, and that's, and that way they move on because they're ready to go. She's talking to her, they need to go. They've gotten big enough. It's time for them to move on. So that way she can concentrate her energy on her next clutch of eggs, right? And raise her next one. So yeah, sounds kind of cruel, but it works for them because their numbers are doing quite well. All right. Okay. Let's see. This one's kind of an interesting strategy. Let's see.
I agree, Vicky. It's pretty cool, huh? You good?
All right. So, hi.
We have a guest.
We have a guest.
Two guests, three guests.
I'm gonna get out of the way. They're gonna bring him in. You guys wanna surprise? You're good. You're good.
You're the surprise.
Yeah.
You two are the surprise.
All right. Let me talk about this, and then we can bring her out. This is perfect timing. All right.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah. So another female caregiver. She does a little bit different. Does anybody want to guess what animal this is from? I can guarantee most of you have seen one of these.
I think we had those in North
I
Carolina.
do believe so. I see them all the time in the evening. This might give you another hint.
Lion, wolf, bear. What's Nikki holding? There you go,
That's better.
Christina.
There you go.
Deer. Yeah, that last one's last giveaway. That's good. Here they come back. Joey, Christina. Yep. Nice job, Nicole,
Right.
Philip. Deer.
The white-tailed deer. There we go. Nice
Ooh.
job. So they have an interesting way of raising their young. So it's the females who are in charge. And so some people think, okay, maybe she's kind of neglectful, but it actually has a purpose because they don't go near their babies for the first couple of weeks of their life. A lot of cottontails and a lot of our hoof stuff that we actually have here at the zoo. It's kind of cool. They do it too. So their babies, if you look at this, right here. Do you think this makes her very good camouflage? Do you think this would blend in? What do you guys think? She's gonna come out. Is this good camouflage?
Maybe.
It is when you're walking.
Vicky said she saw one
unless they're
walking.
running out in front of a car. It's hard to see them. Very good camouflage. But then you add this coloration on the grasses, and then you add some cute little spots like that. It makes them blend in so well. And so a lot of these animals do something called, fancy word, called tucking. And so, so she's ready to go out. I'm going faster and faster. So they do something called tucking.
I agree, Joey.
So when
Job,
they're
Mecca.
born, they have zero smell. So predators cannot smell them. And their first instinct is just to lay down because they're very weak. They can't really follow mom around. And so their instinct is just to lay down and be still like a rock and blend in. And that's what they do. And it protects them.
Mhm.
And mom stays away. She doesn't want to draw attention to the babies. So she stays away from them. She only checks in on them a couple days a week, or couple times a day. Whew. And makes sure they're fed and feeds them at that time. And then she leaves again. And then after a couple weeks, when they get older and stronger and then can follow her around, then they follow her and come with her everywhere. But until then, they kind of just leave them alone, which sounds kind of cruel, but it actually works, and it works quite well for them. So if you see a baby dog fawn just kind of tucked away, no mom around, leave it. Mom's found around somewhere. You get a lot of people with rehabs going, oh, we found this baby fawn that's been abandoned. It hasn't. It's okay. Unless they saw the mom hit by a car, then yeah, you could take it to a rehab center. But for the most part, most time, it's probably be okay. All right. Our next.
Philip did ask a question about what is it called. Philip, I'm not sure what you're talking about with what is it called. The hiding of the baby is called tucking.
Yeah.
The animal was a white-tailed deer, and a baby deer is called a fawn.
Right.
So maybe one of those three things answers your question.
Yeah. Oh, I have one last thing really quick before.
Thank you, Leslie.
Another single moment. This one, I just had to throw this in because it's kind of gross and kind of cool at the same time. This is
What?
mom to the extreme. So this is the mom, female caregiver to the extreme. Well, first of all, let's see if you can figure out what animal this is. And it's not a worm. I'm going to tell you that now. It actually has a backbone.
Joe
It
Philip
is a
says
vertebrate.
millipede. So you say it does have a backbone?
It does have a
Wow,
backbone.
okay.
It has a backbone.
So it's not a bug, not
Yeah.
an invert.
It's more closely related to sugar. Our toad.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So this is actually.
She thought you meant sugar cubes.
Not the type you put in your coffee.
Our animal folks are right to animal. And they're like, what are you talking about? Sugar.
So this is an amphibian. Believe it or not, guys, this isn't actually an amphibian. So we have frogs, toads, and salamanders, and then we have this thing called caecilians.
Hmm?
And that's what these are. So they're worm-like. They live underground, and they're really kind of cool.
Thanks, Leslie.
But thank you for spelling that, yes. And not Sicilians, like you came from Italy. So pretty cool. But she cares for them. So this is not an exception for those. This is one of the amphibians that actually put in a lot of care. So much care that they actually feed their babies their skin. So their babies actually eat their skin, and then every 3 days
Just their skin?
they eat the skin. And then every 3 days she grows new ones, and then they have a fresh supply.
Weird.
So glad we're not Sicilians, right? So
Leslie likes a Sicilian.
I think they're pretty cool. I think they're very interesting. No one really knows much about them.
I agree,
that's why
Nicole.
I throw them in.
I agree, Philip. That's kind of a yucky adaptation, but if it works, it works, right? Hey.
And one really quick, another one that has another unique single caregiver.
Hang in there, Joey.
Let's see. Let's see if you can figure out what this guy is.
Well, that's a jelly bean.
Oh, yeah, it is a wet jelly bean. But you're
Ooh,
there you go.
Christina.
You just guy, right? So what makes them special? What is
What
their
idea, Philip?
parent, mama parent? What is her strategy? What does she do to protect
Kind of,
her
Charles.
babies? You're close.
Marsupial.
Right. So we have an opossum. And what do they do? How do they carry their babies? And I know. Similar to, somebody said a kangaroo
Mhm.
on their back in a pouch.
In
There
a
you go.
pouch.
In a
Good. Good
pouch.
job, Charles.
So this is North America's only
Job, Mecca.
marsupial. Like your koalas, your kangaroos, all those that carry their babies in the pouch. So they're born tiny, like a little jelly bean, and they make their way up their belly, and they live in that pouch, and until they get too big and they spill out of said pouch, and then they go onto mama's back.
There you go. So you were right,
Or
Philip.
her face.
On her face.
And she cares for them. And then once they get too big for that, they start falling off. She leaves them behind because at that point they're old enough and they can live on their own and they've learned enough from mom and can kind of survive on their own. So another interesting strategy for being mom. All right, so we met no caregivers. We met our single caregivers. And our next group of animals where it takes two. So we have two caregivers helping to raise their young, right? And our next friend, I was thinking it was Tara. Sorry. Even better. He did. He worked. Yay. And Miss April's
A
gonna
little
bring
bit
him
of a
out. You guys probably
squeaky
heard
noise.
him.
Hi.
Hi, handsome. So just bear with us. We're gonna Move slowly with him. There was a huge green screen in here. I saw that, like, oh, we need to get that out. I feel like that would
Can you guys hear the squeak?
There he is. There, Mr. Braveheart. I want to get out of the way. I don't want to be behind him. I might scare him.
He's showing off his wings on camera.
Wow. He's showing how handsome he is. Does anybody know what kind of bird Miss April's holding? Why don't you show them their tail?
Charles says hawk.
There's a hawk. She's gonna give you a clue. Look at that tail.
Red tail.
There you go. Red-tailed hawk.
Red tail hawk. Good. Nice job,
Nice.
everybody.
And they're pretty common around here. Well, you guys have probably seen some. And this is one of those animals that the male and the female both help raise the young. Hi. That's so handsome. They just got the look. Like, what are you doing? Are you talking? So it's really cool. So they build a nest. They'll build a nest out of sticks up in a tree. And they will mate, and the female will lay the eggs. Because obviously the male's not going to lay the eggs. In bird world, just seahorses. So they lay the eggs, and then they both take turns kind of sitting on the eggs and incubating. Wait, yeah, this is what I'm trying to remember. I get them confused. And then they go off and hunt, or if one's sitting on the eggs all day, the other will go hunt and bring food back for them, and they kind of help each other out. And then once the young hatch, they each take turns incubating still, keeping them warm, and bringing back food to feed them. So pretty cool. They put a lot of effort into that caregiving. And sometimes when you're feeding and you have to hunt and catch food, it's helpful to have two caregivers, right?
Nicole asked, I believe that Nicole asked, somebody give us an idea that she has an idea who this might be. She says Braveheart.
Oh, nice job. It is. This is Braveheart.
And Charles says they like squirrels.
Yes, he definitely does. And speaking,
For a second, he was posed like the hawk back there.
oh,
Oh, that is him back there. There it is right there. Nice.
That's funny. So we're talking about all the screen on behind back here. I'll come around. So that back there, well, there's Braveheart. That's him. So
So-
stool. You'll see him twice. Pretty funny. I never noticed that.
They do want to know what he's being fed.
Oh,
So today he's getting fed mice. It seems to be his favorite most of the time, except for rat. But he also gets chicks. So like, I think we call them day-old chicks.
Yeah. Young ones.
So he eats
Alright.
all meat that he would have to catch on his own in the wild.
Yeah. And they're not picky in the wild, are they? They'll pretty much get it. And I think he's been known to catch a few things that might enter his home and his home every once in a while.
Lizards.
Lizards,
I
yeah.
saw one on a roadkill the other day. I was surprised. I don't see them on roadkill all the time. But I saw,
The eating or roadkill?
yeah,
Oh,
saw them
really?
on a roadkill. Yeah.
Oh,
Times are hard.
Times are hard. Well said, April. Well said.
Winter is coming. Cool. Do you guys have any questions about Mr. Braveheart?
Nothing yet on either spot. Remember questions in the Q&A if you can, and the chat for the comments and answering questions. It's easy. And I'll tell you what, it's the first time I've been behind the camera. Some of you know I've been on the other side sometimes. It is a little bit easier if you guys remember to put your questions in the Q&A box, because it's easier for whoever's helping Nikki to see those questions. The chat goes so fast, sometimes we miss them.
Absolutely. All right. He's pretty awesome.
He is awesome.
He warmed up to the rain.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's doing good. He's got his good days and his bad days. Yeah, he's having a good day.
He's had some Christmas time off.
Yeah.
Yes,
No, he's had a nice break for a while there, as we all did. So he's probably doing better than I did coming back into it. Awesome. No questions?
That's a cool pair. Nope.
All right.
Charles says very beautiful, however.
He is. He's a handsome boy. And in most bird of preys, the females are actually larger than the males. And so he's actually on the large size for a male. So he's always surprised me how big he is. I'm like, are you sure he's not a female? But he's not. But he's definitely big for a male.
And all
very
the-
hungry.
Maybe I was a good miss. But no.
Thanks.
Well, thanks. Hello, Braveheart.
Now, why do you guys think? Why would the females need to be larger than the males? You guys think of that. Why would the females need to be larger than the males?
Isn't it that way in some turtles and tortoises as well? Aren't the females a little bit bigger sometimes?
Oh, I'm not sure. Could be. Any answers?
Not yet.
I can't read from the side of this. My glasses. I need glasses. I just need to go.
Here, you need these. No answers yet,
No,
Nikki.
yeah.
So
Well, most of the time, remember, it's the female that lays the eggs, and a lot of times it's her that sits on the eggs, right? So she's kind of got to be bigger, not only to kind of cover the eggs, but to protect them too. And the male's usually hanging out too to kind of help, but it helps that she's much larger, and it helps for him to be smaller, so he can go out and be a better hunter. So he can be smaller and faster and be able to catch more food to bring back to his honey and his babies.
that's awesome. Nope.
All right.
Good job.
Thank you, everybody. Say goodbye.
Good job, Braveheart. Thank you for coming by.
Good job, Bravey.
April, thanks for being here.
Thank you. And I'll show you
Great
guys
job.
while putting them away. So this
Good job,
is
Christina.
this is the nest. Oops, I was going the wrong way. And the babies. Oh, awkward. They're cute.
The color's crazy. They have that beautiful plumage later on. They just this kind of weird, creamy
I
white.
know, a little down.
Thank you, Vicky. Thanks, Philip.
And again, those that put a lot of effort into caring for their young, they only have like a couple babies, right? Because that way they don't have to put so much effort into it. So they'll only lay a few eggs, and they don't lay as many eggs or have as many babies. So it just kind of.
Oh, thank you, April.
We got mouse guts all over. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, that would be awesome. Appreciate that. Let me put the water in here. All right, guys. They've seen everybody. Okay.
Christina will be looking at 4-ish, plus or minus, just so you know. You asked about what time the program might end.
We're almost done.
I'm gonna
guys.
pushing 4-ish. Plus or minus.
There you go.
I have 3:42.
Okay. There we go.
So Kat and April are gonna leave.
Yeah,
and
let
take
them go by.
Mr. Braveheart with.
Say goodbye.
April, thank you.
April.
Braveheart,
Thank
thank
you guys so
Kat,
much.
thank you for coming out.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So remember we talked about those exceptions, right? We said amphibians mostly just lay the eggs and leave. This is pretty cool. So this guy, he's an exception.
Wow.
So funny. I like the story of this guy. So this is a strawberry poison dart frog. And so the male and the females, they lay the eggs, and then he hangs out and protects them. And mom's nearby too. And then he goes and he checks the eggs and he pokes at him and goes, "Oh, you're looking so cute, my little slimy eggs. Oh, but you're looking a little wet. Are you looking a little dry? Let me pee on you." And so he pees on them to keep them moist. We're so glad our dads don't do that to us.
No.
Our male parent does not do that with.
Joey said he's seen him before.
Yeah. So that way, that's good because the eggs stay nice and moist. Because if you've ever seen frog eggs, they're like this, that slimy kind of gelatinous, mushy mass, and they need to be kept wet. And so he'll pee on them, and once they hatch from the eggs, the tadpoles, I don't know if you guys know this, but tadpoles are carnivores, which means they are extreme meat eaters. And so they would actually eat each other if they left them. So mom takes a tadpole, puts it on her back, climbs up a tree, and there's these plants up there called bromeliads, and they collect water almost like a little mini pond. And she drops a tadpole into each of the bromeliads. So they each have their own little pool that they can grow up in. And then to feed them, she actually lays an unfertilized egg. So kind of like our chicken eggs. So there's no baby growing inside because it's just an egg and that has not been fertilized by a male. And so they eat that egg, and she does it every day. She goes to each of those bromeliad little ponds and feeds her babies every day. until they become adults.
And these guys are found where?
I do believe South America. That's where most reported are from. So once they become kind of that stage where they're starting to, they got legs and they're starting to lose their tail, and they can leave that nest and go on their own. So pretty cool. I just thought that was interesting. You don't usually hear about frogs usually taking care of too many. But the ultimate stay-at-home caregiver goes to these guys. This is one type of species. So have you guys heard of something called a hornbill? They're these beautiful birds. You guys can come around. Go ahead. Go ahead. They're taking our friends home. So
Oh, you're taking. I'm sorry, I could have brought it. I was holding the lid. I was.
You're such a big help.
You want the other things too. Sorry, ladies.
Thanks, guys. That's funny.
That was kind of
I
silly.
got the lid.
Yeah, oh well.
Anyways, so back to the hornbills.
And what is a hornbill?
So hornbill is a bird, a big bird. And there's different species. And so basically, what they do is, let's get to my right picture. They find a cavity in a tree. And the female goes into the cavity and they literally seal her in. And they leave just a slit so that he can feed her. And so they seal her in. So all this in this hole right here is like mud and dirt and poop and all that good stuff that they make to kind of seal her in. And then she lays the eggs and sits on them, and he just brings food to her all day, coming over and bringing food. Like this guy's he's actually got food in his mouth he's bringing to the nest to feed her. And then once the eggs hatch, brings food for her and the babies.
Is that a caterpillar, you think?
I don't know, for cat, probably. But they like bugs. I know they like a lot of fruit and vegetables. So I'm not sure if that's a leaf or a caterpillar.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm not sure, but I don't know. They like it. They seem to like it. And so he keeps doing that. He keeps bringing food in for both of them. And then once it gets too big, they do look like flying dinosaurs. They do.
Good call, Philip.
They're very cool birds. I got to work with them. Oh, here's a cute picture. And like I said, there's different species. That yellow one, called a great hornbill. So she's inside feeding the babies, taking the food that dad brings. And then when they get so big that all three of them can't fit in there, then they break out and they come out. And if something happens to dad, then of course she leaves too. She gets out. So otherwise she wouldn't survive. She's stuck in there. So pretty cool strategy, right? I don't know that I'd want to do that. Seal myself in with my kids for months. Well, I think right now this time.
Kind of did that for the last 9 months.
That's kind of what happened for the last almost year, right? We got sealed in together. All right, our last group. Just that. It's a group effort. So we had no caregivers, we had single caregivers, we had couple caregivers. Now we have the group effort. Can you guys think of animals that kind of help each other raise young as a group? Can you guys think of any examples?
Thank you, Becca.
What's that? Oh, we got lions, eagles.
Eagle? No. Gorillas? Yeah.
Gorillas, yeah.
Lions, eagles with a question mark. Gorillas.
I don't know about eagles, but
Yeah, eagles I think are going to be more, like you said
they're kind of
earlier.
like the red-tailed hawk. They're more of pairs.
Yep.
They'll raise their kids in pairs.
Some birds, would last year's hatch help sometimes with some birds?
Sometimes they do.
Some
Yeah.
birds.
So with bald eagles, they're takes like 3 or 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
to reach sexual maturity. So sometimes they will hang out, and the immature ones or juveniles will kind of hang on.
I didn't.
So
Okay.
I can see where you saw that. Yeah, that's a good one. A lot of people think
Ducks, maybe. Ooh.
Where does this come from? What animal is that from?
Elephant from
there
Philip.
you go, right. Elephants are really good at that. And does anybody remember
Charles, good.
who is in charge of the elephant groups, the elephant herd? Is it the males or the females?
Dun, 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 dun.
See if you guys remember.
Dun, dun, dun,
Who's in
dun.
charge? in an elephant herd. It is females. Nice
Good job, Philip. Nicole,
Right.
good. Vicky, good.
Absolutely. So the females are the
Nice,
ones that
Charles.
raise the young. And all the females. And they can be related to each other or not. But they all kind of pitch in and help protect that young. As you can see, there he is. So he's right there.
Oh, wow. That's cute.
And they're all, and then there's a younger one. Oops, over there. And all the older females just have them surrounded and protected. So
Nicole
all
says, yay, girls.
Yes. Yes, girls, right. And then another one that I always think is very fascinating that a lot of people think are very misunderstood. You know?
Whoa, looky there.
Hi. I think they're cute. Let's see if it'll focus in on them through the glass, plexiglass.
Vampire bat, says Philip.
Nice job. All right. Now, a lot of people misunderstand these guys.
Mecca and Joe
But-
bat.
Here, I'll show you. It's hard to focus on that. See, we'll focus on this. This is some of ours we have here at the zoo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can see their bands. That's how we come apart. And what's really kind of cool is the females have a pup. Usually just have one, occasionally have twins. But she has to carry it around on her for the first, month or so, or a few weeks, nursing it. And so it takes a lot of energy. So she can't really go out and hunt and look for food. And so females that don't have any babies will actually bring food back for her and feed her so that she can raise her young. And if something happens to mom and she doesn't survive, the other ones will actually adopt that baby and care for her, which is very unusual in the animal world. So pretty cool, very unique family values they have there. So really awesome. And there's so many more that we could get into, but we'd be here all the way here till 6 o'clock. But a lot of cool different ways. So we met some that give zero care whatsoever, some that give one caregiver, two caregivers, or more caregivers, right? Some of them are related, some of them are not. Can you guys see any of those in your families? Who do you compare to? Are you an octopus? I hope not. So me. But you might be a seahorse. Maybe you have a male caregiver that takes care of you. Or maybe you have just a female caregiver. Or maybe you have a whole group of people helping to take care of you and protecting you and having your back and loving you for who you are. So there's lots of different family strategies in the animal world and in our world. And, because we are animals too. So anything we can do to help make sure all our kids are protected, right? And you grow up strong and healthy. That is the goal in every animal family, right? Well, do you guys have any questions?
Nothing yet. The dads and 2 people. Yeah.
Yeah, some people. So some of you guys are starving poison dart frogs. Nobody feeds on you, right? Oh, and there's dad. Yep, absolutely. All right, nice. Any other questions?
I have nothing on my screen, Miss Nikki.
All
This has
right.
been fun today.
Very good. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us and a happy new year. Come back next week. We have, if you guys want, we're doing the creature connections next week with Leslie and our friends at Fort Fisher Aquarium, right?
Mhm.
Okay, make sure I got that right. That one is, you do have to pay for that one. So, but you can sign up if you go to our website. You can sign up and join them there. It's pretty cool.
Leslie wants
Leslie
wants her own jacuzzi, by the way.
She wants a jacuzzi.
Mhm.
Boy.
So she saw one in the PDF. She says yes, her and Kristen from Fort Fisher.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. What are you guys talking about next week, Leslie? What is our topic? Maybe we can tell them, or do you know? You're like me.
You're
I
welcome,
literally put this
Nicole.
program together the other day.
Philip says, I'll answer that while Leslie's typing. Jacuzzi's like a big jetted
Oh.
tub.
We're going behind the scenes.
Ooh,
Ooh,
fun.
Nice. So yeah, go to our website, and if you want to sign up for it, I think you can do several and get a kind of a deal. If you sign up for more, you get a bigger break on the money. So sign up for that, and the week after that, I'm
Thank you,
back,
Joey.
and I forgot what I'm doing. Oh, I forgot. That's gonna be fun. Art of camouflage. So we're gonna learn all about camouflage. So yeah.
Sounds mysterious.
And then at the end of the month, we're bringing Jeopardy back. and we're going to play Animal Jeopardy.
You don't want to miss that one,
So
guys.
it's gonna be fun, guys. So all right. Well, thanks again, guys, for joining us, and we'll either see you next week or the week after. Anyway, bye, guys. Take care, and hopefully we'll see you soon. All right, bye, guys. Stay safe.